This might just look like rockets in the sky, but it's actually cutting-edge defense technology. In Israel, the system is called the Iron Dome. The country has relied on it to protect citizens from different attacks in the last decade. Put simply, the Iron Dome is an air defense system used to intercept projectile weapons. Since the Iron Dome was activated in Israel in 2011, the system has successfully thwarted attacks from militant groups and other countries. Quick history lesson. When did the Iron Dome get started in Israel and why?
Well, Israel has been threatened by its neighbors for a long time, and rocket attacks became more common, typically shorter range rockets.
Michael O'Hanlon, director of foreign policy research at the Brookings Institution, says while Israel's Iron Dome was developed after the 2006 war with Lebanon, the idea of missile defense systems goes back decades and is riddled with disagreement.
The debate goes back really to the 1960s.
We hope the use of missiles will never be necessary.
And back in that era, the superpowers, the U.S. and the Soviet Union, had concepts for interceptor missiles that were really ultimately seen as not very promising.
That debate continuing in the 1980s when President Ronald Reagan announced his intention to develop a national defense system that would make nuclear weapons obsolete. He called it the Strategic Defense Initiative, or Star Wars.
The real Star Wars, defense in space.
What if free people could live secure in the knowledge that their security did not rest upon the threat of instant U.S. retaliation to deter a Soviet attack, that we could intercept and destroy strategic ballistic missiles before they reached our own soil or that of our allies?
The plan ultimately failed due to the high cost on a national system that was not yet proven to work. Decades later, President Donald Trump is looking to build a new missile defense system for the U.S., what he's dubbed at times the Golden Dome.
I'm pleased to announce that we have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space. And this design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term.
So why now?
At the very basic level, of course, it's a responsibility of the government to protect its people. So from that very basic approach, that's why you would build missile defenses.
Robert Sufer was the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Nuclear and Missile Defense Policy during President Donald Trump's first term. He says a missile defense system for the U.S. would not only be to protect the country, but also the country's allies. Experts say if the U.S. developed a dome of its own, the size of the country would make it substantially bigger than any such system known to be developed.
We need a system that can defend against longer-range threats that are coming from North Korea, Russia, or China. If you want to carry out President Trump's goal for a next-generation system to protect the entire homeland, you're going to have to increase that spending.
To some, making that investment is worth the result.
Defending the homeland is a top priority.
And that's the Iron Dome, simply explained.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.